Most guys look for obvious signs an ex regrets losing them, but psychology shows the real clues hide in micro behaviors she doesn't even notice she's revealing. Today, I'll show you 20 of those subtle emotional reversals, and the last one is the clearest indicator she still loves you but is afraid to admit it. 1. She revisits conversations she once avoided, now with completely different energy. When a woman regrets losing you, she starts circling back to conversations she shut down in the past. Maybe there was a topic she never wanted to discuss. Your goals, something emotional, the argument that ended things, the way she treated you, or even something you were passionate about that she dismissed. Suddenly, she brings it up again as if she's had a quiet change of heart. She'll do it casually, almost like she's trying not to sound intentional, but you'll feel the difference. The topic she once avoided now comes with softness, curiosity, or even a tiny bit of guilt. She may ask for your perspective or try to reframe her old reaction. This is her way of repairing a crack without openly admitting it's there. Women do this when they regret how things ended. They revisit the places where they know they went wrong. She's not trying to start conflict. She's trying to reopen a door she once closed. 2. She becomes overly careful with her tone around you, as if trying not to lose access again. This one is subtle but powerful. When she regrets losing you, she starts speaking to you like someone who is terrified of messing up twice. She becomes hyper-aware of microtones, the softness in her messages, the way she ends a sentence, the politeness she didn't always have before. It's not that she's scared of you. She's scared of losing the chance to be in your orbit. Women who regret their decision become very gentle around the person they hurt, not because they're manipulating, but because they're trying to rebuild trust without drawing attention to it. You'll notice fewer sharp comments, fewer defensive responses, fewer passive touches of attitude. She chooses her words like someone trying not to disturb something fragile. If your ex is suddenly handling you with emotional gloves, it's not friendliness, it's regret. 3. She brings up micro moments you forgot you shared, proof her mind is looping back. Regret doesn't always look like sadness. Sometimes it looks like nostalgia so strong that random memories bubble to the surface whether she wants them to or not. You'll hear her reference these tiny memories, the kind no one else would remember. Something you said once while walking home, a stupid inside joke, a detail from your apartment, the flavor of something you ordered, a moment that lasted only 3 seconds but stuck in her head. She isn't doing this to be cute. It's her brain replaying what she lost. A woman who has truly moved on doesn't dig out old memories. A woman who regrets losing you does, because those micro moments are the ones that hit the hardest when she's alone at night. She brings them up because in her mind, those moments are still alive, and part of her hopes they aren't dead for you. 4. She mirrors the pace of your messages, not the words, showing she's relearning your rhythm. Everyone talks about mirroring, but they only mean posture or speech. Real emotional mirroring is timing. When she regrets losing you, she starts matching the rhythm of your communication, not your slang, not your emojis, your pace. If you reply slowly, she adapts. If you get brief, she gets brief. If you become warm, she warms up on cue. She's relearning how to move at your tempo. This is something women do when they're trying to gently re-establish connection without looking desperate. They don't want to intimidate you, overwhelm you, or seem too eager, so they take on your pace like someone syncing steps while walking beside you. It's her way of saying, I'm trying to fit into your world again. Just tell me where the door is. 5. She suddenly praises qualities she once downplayed, as if rewriting her original judgment. This one almost always shows up when a woman regrets letting you go. She starts validating qualities she used to ignore or critique. Maybe she once teased your hobbies, or brushed off your ambition, or acted unimpressed by your discipline, your confidence, your humor, your creativity, whatever it was. Now she compliments those exact things. It's not random. It's revision. She's trying to rewrite the narrative of how she viewed you, because she now sees the value she overlooked. And here's the deeper psychology behind it. When someone regrets losing you, they often regret their misjudgment of you even more. Praising you now is her way of correcting a past mistake while indirectly communicating, I get it now, I see what I missed. This kind of praise isn't flattery, it's confession. 6. She tries to validate decisions you make, even tiny ones, as if rebuilding lost influence. Watch what she validates. A woman who regrets letting you go starts over-supporting your choices. She agrees with your plans more than she used to. She validates your opinions. She backs your decisions, even the small ones. What you're working on, how you spend your days, what you're aiming for next. This isn't her being agreeable. It's her trying to rebuild the role she used to have in your life. When she feels she's lost influence, she doesn't try to take it back forcefully. She tries to earn it back by aligning herself with your world. She wants you to feel like she gets you again. She wants closeness, and validation is the bridge she uses to reach it. If she's boosting your confidence more than she used to, it's not a coincidence. It's regret wearing a smile. 7. She stops using certain joke styles or teasing patterns that used to bother you. Women remember what made their partner pull away. They remember the jokes that landed wrong, the sarcastic tone, the playful teasing that sometimes cut too close. When she regrets losing you, she quietly removes those habits, not because she suddenly became a different person, but because she knows exactly where she mishandled you. This is one of the rarest signs because it doesn't show up in big grand gestures. It shows up in a lack of something. A lack of teasing that used to sting. A lack of little jabs she thought were funny. A lack of competitive energy that once created tension. She's learned her lesson, the hard way. And she's adjusting her behavior not to win you over, but to avoid the mistake that cost her before. When a woman regrets losing you, she becomes more emotionally precise. She becomes careful with the jokes she chooses because she doesn't want to accidentally tell you, I haven't grown. And she's hoping you notice the improvement. 8. She asks questions that position you as someone she wants to earn back, not someone she assumes is available. There's a difference between curiosity and careful curiosity. Women who regret losing you start asking questions that reveal insecurity, interest, and a subtle desire for reassurance, all mixed together. Questions like, how have you been feeling lately? What are you looking for these days? Do you still believe in what matters to you now? What changed for you after we stopped talking? These aren't casual. They're reconnaissance missions. She's trying to figure out your emotional landscape without looking intrusive. More importantly, she's trying to understand how hard it would be to get you back. Even though she won't say that out loud, the less she assumes and the more she seeks information, the more regret you're dealing with. 9. She becomes unusually patient with you, especially during pauses or slow replies. This one is huge. If your ex genuinely regretted losing you, impatience disappears. The woman who once got upset at slow replies now gives you space. The woman who used to push for quick answers now waits calmly. The woman who once reacted emotionally now gives you more room than you even asked for. This kind of patience isn't natural. It's chosen. She's patient because she's scared of pushing you away again. She's patient because she's trying to respect your pace. She's patient because she knows she doesn't have the leverage she used to have, and she doesn't want to ruin the fragile connection that's rebuilding. This is a woman trying not to repeat her mistake, and patience is her apology without words. 10. She tries to involve you in first-time experiences to create a psychological reset point. This is one of the most unique and least known signs of regret. Women who want to reconnect with an ex don't rely on nostalgia that keeps the relationship in the past. Instead, they try to create new moments that feel fresh and symbolically significant. She might invite you to try something she's never done before, go somewhere she's never been, watch something new, taste something new, or share something she recently discovered. It's her way of saying, let's build a new version of us. She's not trying to repeat what you had. She's trying to overwrite the ending. Women do this when they regret the breakup deeply, because new experiences create emotional reset points where both people can feel like the story isn't finished. This isn't about fun. This is her trying to rebuild the foundation without drawing attention to the construction. Quick pause. If you're watching this because you'd rather understand her behavior than chase it blindly, type standard in the comments. It shows you're a man who leads with self-respect, not confusion. Let's see who holds themselves to higher standards. 11. She drops opinions or preferences she adopted after the breakup because they were post-you identities. After a breakup, a lot of people try on new identities, new music, new routines, new philosophies, new dating rules, not because they love them, but because they're trying to define who they are without you. But when a woman regrets losing you, something interesting happens. She quietly lets those new parts of herself fade away. You'll notice she no longer talks about that sudden passion she developed right after things ended. She stops mentioning the new dating standards she supposedly had. She pulls back from certain opinions she used to use to justify why the breakup was for the best. It's not regression. It's honesty resurfacing. She's shedding the identity she built to survive losing you. Women don't abandon a post-breakup persona unless that persona no longer serves them. When she regrets the breakup, the version of herself that was built on moving on collapses. And what comes back is the version of her who understood you, connected with you, and maybe even loved you more than she realized at the time. These reversals are never loud. They happen in small comments, subtle shifts, tiny admissions, but they're some of the most revealing clues that her regret runs deep. 12. She reacts strongly, sometimes too strongly, to neutral comments you make about personal growth. You can say something simple like, I've been working on myself lately, and suddenly she stiffens, or she changes the subject, or she gets quiet, or she asks a question that sounds casual but feels loaded. That reaction is not random. It's fear, not of you, but of what your growth means for her chances. When a woman regrets losing you, every sign of your improvement hits her like a reminder of the mistake she made. She's not jealous of your growth. She's terrified that you're becoming the version of you she always hoped you'd be, but without her in the story. This is why her reactions get oddly intense even when you say something harmless. She hears it differently. Your growth sounds like distance. Your progress sounds like someone else's opportunity. Your confidence feels like her fading influence. Watch for these emotional spikes because they're not logical. They're regret showing up before she can manage it. 13. She checks the emotional temperature of every conversation, even the boring ones. Women who regret losing you stop focusing on the words you're saying and start focusing on the tone behind them. It's like they're holding a thermometer up to every message, every silence, every pause, checking, is he warm? Is he cold? Did he sound different? Did I say something wrong? Does he seem distant today? Even mundane topics get analyzed. How's work? What are you up to later? What did you eat? All become emotional data points she studies. She isn't being clingy. She's being cautious. Regret makes people extra sensitive to emotional changes because they feel they're always one misstep away from losing their chance to reconnect. If she's acting a little too aware of mood shifts or watching your responses like they carry hidden meaning, she's not being dramatic. She's trying not to lose you twice. 14. She shows small signs of rivalry with the new people in your life, but tries to hide it under politeness. She won't show jealousy the way movies portray it. It won't be obvious or loud or possessive. Instead, it comes out sideways, through quiet, polite competitiveness. Maybe she asks about someone in your life, and her voice tightens a little. Maybe she says something kind, but the kindness feels measured. Maybe she avoids talking about someone she clearly wants to ask more about, or she gives a compliment that sounds like it's been sanded down to remove any rough edges of envy. Women who regret losing you care deeply about the threats in your life, not because they're territorial, but because they feel replaceable for the first time. She's trying to stay composed. She's trying to stay mature. She's trying to stay graceful. But underneath that politeness is a fear she's fighting hard not to show. These signs are tiny but extremely telling. If she cares who you're talking to, she cares about the possibility of losing you to them. 15. She starts rewriting the story of your breakup to make it seem softer, lighter, or not really final. Breakups create stories. He wasn't ready. I wasn't myself. We weren't right. It wouldn't have worked. But regret rewrites those stories. It softens them. It makes them less certain. If she regrets losing you, she may start describing the breakup with new language. It was a weird time for me. I think we misunderstood each other. I wasn't thinking clearly. It wasn't really about you. I wish things happened differently. These statements aren't attempts to change history. They're attempts to reopen a door. You'll hear her remove the harsh edges from the original narrative, trying to adjust the emotional weight of what happened so it feels less like a final chapter and more like a temporary detour. That revision is not innocent. It's intentional, even if she doesn't realize it. This is her way of saying, I don't want our ending to be the ending. 16. She mimics your current pace in life, habits, interests, even sleep schedule, without announcing it. Not your interests, not your hobbies, your tempo. You'll see her waking up earlier because you do, or slowing down her lifestyle because you've become more grounded. Maybe she's reading more, or traveling less, or shifting her schedule in a way that mirrors your rhythm. These changes aren't direct copies, they're parallel adjustments. Regret makes people want to move in sync again. She doesn't say, oh, I copied you. She pretends it just happened, but it didn't. She's watching the shape of your life and aligning herself with the version of you she now realizes was worth keeping. When a woman adjusts her life pace to match yours, without pointing it out, she's trying to quietly step back into compatibility. This is one of the most unconscious signs of regret, and one of the most honest. 17. She quietly retracts boundaries she once created to keep distance. Women who regret losing you don't always reach out more. Sometimes they stop blocking you out. They remove the boundary of, we shouldn't talk. They stop insisting on space. They stop acting like contact is a problem. They no longer remind you of the breakup rules. They stop putting emotional fences around conversations. They let things flow again, naturally, organically, without framing it. Boundaries that once felt firm now soften. Not because she's careless, because she's hopeful. This shift is easy to miss because it doesn't show up in what she does, but in what she stops doing. She stops enforcing distance. She stops maintaining the emotional walls. She stops directing the interaction. And before you know it, you're talking more openly again without any of the earlier restrictions. Distance is what she used to protect herself. Regret is what makes her quietly lower the shield. 18. She becomes curious about people who influenced your confidence. Most guys assume women will be curious about potential new partners. But when she regrets losing you, she becomes curious about someone else entirely. The source of your confidence. Maybe you mention a mentor, a friend who supports you, a gym trainer, a coworker who pushes you, a new habit that made you level up. She'll ask about these people in ways she didn't before. She wants to understand what, or who, is making you stronger. This curiosity comes from a deep place of emotional attachment. When a woman regrets losing you, she wants to know, who's shaping him now? What's making him more confident? Who is helping him grow into the man I used to dream he'd become? She isn't threatened by these people. She's intimidated by what they represent, because they're helping build the version of you she now wishes she hadn't walked away from. This isn't jealousy, it's longing mixed with awe. 19. She reintroduces soft touches of vulnerability she used to protect fiercely. Women don't show vulnerability to someone they're done with. They show it to someone they still feel connected to, someone whose opinion still matters. Regret strips away pride. It softens the armor. You might notice her admitting something small, like feeling overwhelmed, or feeling insecure, or missing a part of her old life, or struggling with something she used to pretend didn't bother her. These openings aren't random. They're invitations. She's signaling, I trust you again. I feel safe with you. I want closeness, even if I can't say it out loud. This is not the kind of vulnerability meant to get sympathy. It's the kind meant to rebuild intimacy. She's showing you little pieces of her inner world again because she wants you in it. When a woman regrets losing you, her gentle honesty returns before her confession ever will. 20. She asks questions that reveal she's trying to figure out if you've forgiven her, even if she never apologizes. Women don't always say sorry directly, especially when the mistake hurts their pride or feels too big to shrink into one sentence. So instead, they ask roundabout questions that hint at the real question underneath. Do you ever think about how things ended? Are we okay now? Do you feel different about everything? Was I too harsh back then? Did I misunderstand you? Are you happier these days? She's not looking for small talk. She's scanning for forgiveness. Regret creates a quiet fear, the fear that you'll never let her back into your emotional world, even if she wants to return. So, she tries to understand where you stand without exposing how deeply she cares. These questions are her emotional thermometer, measuring whether the door she closed is still locked, or whether there's a chance you might open it again. And here's the truth. A woman who wants closure doesn't ask these questions. Only a woman who wants another beginning does. Up next, discover the signs she hasn't had sex in a long time, or learn what women do when missing you. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more.